first one. Fiddle-dee-dee. Interesting.
Just two of us.
Ah. Good morning, Michael. I have you on the agenda for a quickie Zoom moment.
Okay.
And maybe what we'll do is just say, okay, we're going to do this, we want to do this little quickie Zoom tutorial moments. Does anybody have anything they really want to know about or having problems with, yada, 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 and maybe go from there? See what people want.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Where am I in the agenda? So how much time
In
do I
the
have to?
middle.
Near the end or beginning or?
No, you're in the middle.
Okay.
Or kind of toward the end-ish. Do you want me to make you a co-host?
Yeah.
Make co-host. Ta-da! I know how to do that.
It does change things.
I'm not anticipating it, changing screens or any of that kind of stuff. Unless, down the road, if people ask for it and want it, there's Nick. Unmute yourself, Nick. There you go. Good morning.
Mute myself.
Unmute. And there's Joyce. Nick, have you been out of town?
I had Trace and I took a little road trip down to Southern California was that last week, the week before? I can't even remember. But so I'm minorly out of town, but we've been threatening to go to New York for months now. Each time we get a flight, something gets in the way and we postpone. So we're on our 5th schedule now to go next month. And I hope we can make good on that, because baby Castor is going to approach a year.
He's walking, talking, playing.
Walking, talking, saying 11 different things and entertaining us on Zoom, but we want to be there to tickle it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What about you? You just fully immersed now as La Presidente?
I guess I'm here.
A year. Well, I commend.
I'm resigned to a year of Zoom.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't come to that, but it might.
This latest vaccine trial where they're doing it with 30,000 people, when you really read the article, it says that it's a series of 2 shots spaced several weeks apart. That's for the trial. Excuse me, that tells me it's going to be months before they have meaningful data.
You know, I think the schedule I've heard is trial for the rest of this year, and then maybe something approaching approval in like January, February, and then production will
Right.
take a long, and distribution will be a
Right.
long curve. So I think Q1 of next year is possible, but I'd be more likely betting on
I'm
sometime
not
in the
betting
first
on
half.
Q1 or 2.
What's that?
I'm not going to bet on Q1 or 2.
Well, I'm not going to bet, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, good morning, Michael.
Muted.
Which-
Good morning.
Which Michael? That's
Oh.
not a Michael.
Oh, we can all say hello.
That's
Yeah.
a Jerry.
Well, no, and then we have Helene. Hello, Helene. And we have
Morning.
Joyce. Joyce is muted. And no picture, Joyce. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning. What's your cup say, Barbara?
Oh, this is the Talakipaki Empresarial Club again. What I need to do is grab, see, this is a big one. I have a small one that's Rotary Çorlu from Turkey, but it's a small cup, and I want a big cup for the morning, for meeting mornings. Morning, Louis.
Good
Turkey
morning.
serves their or their coffee in small little cups.
Yeah, well, this is, you know, this is a 14 ounce, and the Çorlu one is 12. So,
Works.
Lou, thank you very much for that referral.
Oh, good.
Sam was I haven't talked to her in the last couple of days, but she's in the process of contacting your friend. They put a bid on a house and they didn't get it, so they're still looking.
What part of Westchester are they looking?
Let's see. You got to remember some names. It's up closer to West Point. It's on the obviously on the east side of the river, but
Right.
Katona.
Katona.
Katona is one place, and the area generally around Katona. But it's got to be on the Metro North line.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
And as long as they can stay a reasonable distance from the Metro North line, well, I think they'll accomplish what they're trying to do.
Good. Well, wish them luck.
Yeah, it takes luck.
Well, I have no idea what the market might be in Westchester. You know, with it, you know, it was a hot market, sort of like Sonoma County and Marin, because there's only so many properties now. But on the other hand, if there's a downturn in the market, people may be wanting to get out of the area.
It is super boiling. People are fleeing urban settings all over the country in absolutely mass ex-migration,
Wow.
getting out to places where they feel there's a better lifestyle and they don't have to commute into the city. They can take their jobs with them and sit in their office and do their job. And so they're going to take advantage of that.
Well, see, maybe I should move out of city and maybe go to the country.
You're in the country, Lou.
Oh,
no, he's in the city.
I did that 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah, Sonoma County is right smack in the sweet spot for this trend. So buy up several houses today, and you'll reap the benefits.
And
Well, I know the house down the street from us sold, and the people put a fortune into it, and it sold for $710,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there and wow. I mean, and they put all this extra into it. Now if you live forever, it's just what you do. And they're young and they got two kids and whatever. But
They're pretty serious there, Joe.
Good morning.
He looks worn out from his birthday.
Yes.
Morning, Joe. Morning, Gail. Good morning, all. And there's Michael McLaughlin. And
Good
Marty.
morning.
Woohoo.
Oh, cover boy. Did everybody see Michael and Gene on the cover of the magazine?
Not
Oh,
yet.
no. Is it out?
Holy Toledo. You won't be able to talk to him anymore. He's going to be a star.
That's right.
Oh,
You have to have your people talk to his people.
That's right.
Your
Hey.
PA talk to their PA.
Very impressive, Mr. McLaughlin.
Thank you.
You
I
look
have
like you're
nothing to
dressed ready to go out and play golf.
I am. Let's go.
Not now, on the cover of the magazine.
Oh.
Always ready to play golf.
Are you playing golf today, Michael? Laughlin?
No. It's
No.
Wednesday. I don't play golf on Wednesdays.
Ah, okay.
Wednesday's a bad day for golf. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
My husband's golf day. It's the senior men's league at Risk to Run.
When all
Oh,
the
really?
doctors and dentists go out.
Well, when I become a senior, then I might join.
Actually, he says that it's getting really busy at the golf course.
Yeah. This week, both Bennett Valley and Northwood have been packed.
Yeah.
Chock a
Only
block.
place that's still open.
Yeah. Yep. Goody. There's Scotty, Linda, woohoo, Bill Sauber.
What's
morning,
for
Scott. Hey, I rode my bike past your garage, Scott, and the garage door was open, and I kind of pedaled in, but I didn't see you there.
Oh, I'm always there.
Maybe it was too early.
It's always too early.
There's David.
Lola. Yeah. How are you all this morning?
Here.
Nice to see your shining face.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's
Well, and I hate to show my shining teeth while I eat, but you're all doing it. Everybody I've seen thus far. Whoops. Not Marty.
Marty's not eating.
nope.
Marty's fasting until after the election.
No, I've had my, I had my Cheerios this morning.
Hmm.
Are you cheery from your Cheerios?
Do them in a Dutch oven?
No, I had something better yesterday, but today was this quick.
Today's quick too. Susan started making muesli at home. We're making everything at home. I think we're going to start making our clothes pretty soon.
Yeah, getting a spinning wheel, are you?
Got the sheep.
That's right.
You want me to take you out in the living room and show you the spinning wheel? I was very frightened when that showed up because I knew the sheep were going to follow.
Are the sheep in the bedroom?
No, I've got a little lamb up there still, but she's asleep and her fleece is not white as snow.
Morning, Diana.
Good morning. Gandhi made his own clothes.
Certainly did. He was good at it.
Very good.
Morning, Terry.
Morning, Linda.
That wasn't Linda.
Morning,
And
President.
on the Rotary Friendship Exchange, when we visited his ashram in Ahmedabad, they opened up his room for the Rotarians. So we could go into his room and where his spinning wheel and his mat and everything, where there was like an air, an aura, and a presence in the room there. They normally keep it closed. You can just look in through the door.
What an experience.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's Rod.
Morning,
Morning, all.
Morning. Beep.
You know, I don't think we've thought about us bombing somebody else's meeting. We should do that, like all of us.
Okay, I'll forward the email. I got one from a Rotary Club in Bombay with all the Zoom information. I got an email. I'll
We could
send it
scare
out.
the hell out of them. Now, who's going to do the pants check thing that, you know, is required at an event like that, so we can get ourselves kicked out early? What time are we talking about?
President-elect does that.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's GMT +8, I believe.
Who knows that kind of stuff?
Moi.
Oh,
What country were you talking about?
There's a wonderful website called timeanddate.com.
Hi.
Yep.
Morning, Joyce.
Hi.
Morning, Darlene.
Morning.
Hi, Darlene.
Good morning.
What are we doing? 3
Doc?
minutes. 3-minute warning.
Doc, can I come by for eggs tomorrow?
You betcha.
Okay, Thursday
he's
morning.
lonely.
Got lots of eggs.
Rod, did you distribute all of those grocery vouchers?
Yes, they're all out and the people were absolutely delighted.
So
Great.
Michael McLaughlin,
We should probably get some more.
Yeah.
we need to do more.
Yeah, let's do another couple of grand from Faircrest.
Okay, so Michael, you talk with Jerry because Jerry has the checkbook. And then get me the vouchers because I've got the stickers and the envelopes and all that good stuff.
Okay, I'll get a hold of Dave today and have him do some more for us.
Good. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning. How is everybody this morning on a dreary, wet, soggy Sebastopol morning?
Look,
Here.
No, it feels like it's sprinkling.
Patrick's lost in the fog, or he was earlier. Now he's, I guess it's cleared up.
Not here.
Not here.
No,
Patrick's background.
Bloom in July.
Still foggy here. But it's
Hey, Linda sent Kay that site I gave you.
Yeah, I did jump in and I could see on the map, it was just right over the ridge. There was a little fire yesterday. And
Anyway,
yeah,
now you can use that if you see smoke.
that's very helpful. Thank you, Marty. I saved it as a favorite.
We heard the engines, Linda, but didn't see any smoke.
Yeah, well, I had just served dinner and it was like, oh, it's amazing though, when you realize how affected we are. I mean, I clearly have a little PTSD when I kind of see smoke and it just brings all the former evacuation back. And
What about when you smell it?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, even a couple of months ago, I heard, I thought it was sirens and it turns out it was farm equipment. And I'm thinking, oh, that's 3 minutes. You know, that's what you listen for. It's just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that one of the principals of our firm that lost his home in the fire in 2017 bought in Idaho, so he telecommutes, but they have the property still off of Reevely, and they've had it in the family for years, and now they're going to sell it because they were going to keep it for their kids, but both kids have such bad PTSD because they were running out when the flames were bouncing off their cars. And they said they could never live there. They just,
I know, and I think about how
So
affected
it's
I
sad.
am,
Darlene,
and I didn't even get damaged, but yeah. Ugh.
Darlene, where in Idaho?
Huh?
Where in Idaho?
Oh, shoot. I'm bad. I know they're like 10 minutes from Boise.
Ada County, Canyon County are COVID hotspots. Canyon County, where my mother-in-law is population of 188,000 and they have over 4,000 cases. They won't wear masks.
Oh yeah, no, we've
Very
been
Idaho.
arguing every time we talk. And I'm like, it's ridiculous that it's so political.
I know.
It's not about your politics. It's about caring for another human being. And he's like, he agreed, but he still doesn't feel like he should have to wear a mask if he doesn't have to. And I'm just sitting there going, yeah.
How about the people that were in the Walmart wearing Nazi masks?
Oh, geez.
Oh,
Okay, well, I'm gonna have
Do
to
that.
take this off, folks, because guess what?
Ooh,
Welcome.
Hey.
It's meeting time. Here we go. Ta-da! It's July 29th. Good morning, Linton. And here we are again, all in our places with big smiling faces. Now, Lori is supposed to do the pledge, but Linda, did you get the email? Linda, you need to unmute.
Would you like me to do the pledge?
Yeah, Lori sent me an email this morning. She's having a bad case of vertigo.
Got it. Well, everybody, please face the beautiful flag, hand over heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God,
Indivisible.
liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Michael Phelps.
Well, I'm sorry. I completely forgot. Absolutely forgot. So
Does anybody
that's-
else have any words of, can you
I
just,
don't have any words of wisdom.
you haven't had your coffee yet?
Not yet. I'm drinking tea. Maybe I need coffee.
Okay. Anybody else have a words of wisdom?
Barbara,
I'm holding his hand up.
Who is?
Barbara,
Yes, go ahead.
it's Rod.
Go ahead, Rod, please. I can't tell if you have your hand up or not.
It's very good for a young boy to grow up with a dog. The dog will teach the lad to be loyal, to be faithful, and to turn around 3 times before sitting down.
Yep.
Thank you.
There we go. Wave to your Zooming friends. Yay, we're all here. And Joe.
Yes, President Barbara. How are you this fine morning?
Oh, just stay out. We need to just sing out.
We do. It's time to wake everybody up. How about a little My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean this morning?
Okie dokie.
Here we go. My body lies over the ocean.
My body lies over the sea.
My body lies over the ocean. Oh, bring back Bonnie to me. Bring back, oh, bring
back my Bonnie to me.
Bring back, oh, bring back my Bonnie to me.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, everybody, for singing. Yay! Can do it with impunity without a mask. So do we have any cyber Rotarians?
That's all of us.
Just us? Any guests?
That's all of us. We're all cyber Rotarians.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Visiting Rotarians. I need to change that slide to visiting Rotarians, right?
Yeah.
No guests. Well, you have birthdays. You celebrate. Marty,
Yes.
what are you doing for your birthday? It's Friday. No, it's tomorrow.
I think, I know that the kids know what I want. I want one of those tech cuts things for the car. So I think they're going to come over for the weekend. And I believe I am on babysitting duty Friday for Trey. So I'll be doing that, but nothing real exciting.
So do you babysit them while they're at work?
Yes. Yes. So.
You get the good, the bad, and the diapers.
The ugly.
And actually, all I had to do was change him because he was wet. I didn't have any of the other, but
yeah.
So anyway, I was lucky, I guess.
Well, he's old enough, so it's not quite the issue.
Yeah.
And then you put him down for a nap, and you go, "Yes, I'm good."
And I did buy a crib that I have here now, as well as a high chair. So he is well taken care of when he's here.
Good. Good. PJ, your birthday's coming up too.
Yes, it is. And one further comment for Marty. My mother's go-to keep the babies under control was feed them
for 5:30.
rice, the Gerber rice mixture, and it would make the babies feel full, like me, and go to sleep for a while. So she got a nice break by feeding. So anyway, yeah, my birthday's coming up, and Ellie and I are going to go down to the day before. We're going down to Half Moon Bay. We're going to spend the night. The rest of the day bird watching the night, and then the next morning we're getting on a boat and we're going out to the Farallones for a 10-hour adventure. We get back, and one day later we're going to the east side of the Sierras to meet up with relatives and bike and camp and hike and mess around. So it's going to be a sort of an interesting, memorable birthday. So I'm looking forward to all of them.
Good. Is Brian Purcell with us? No. Well, he and Jan have their wedding anniversary on the 3rd, which is Monday. And we don't have any Rotary anniversaries. But we do have lots of things going on. Of course, tomorrow night we have a SCARC meeting. And David Mark Raymond and Michael Cook and I will be leading that meeting. So I'm not sure who all is going to be attending from our club, but it'll be, we were talking about it in planning, and the part that's going to be interesting is how we are going to handle the introductions for the clubs, because obviously, you know, there's going to be somebody there from a club, but we aren't going to know who else is there because it's going to be all the pictures up on the screen. But we'll manage. But it's too bad that we are not at Loretto. We all missed that. And I've had a few comments. So hopefully next year we can actually meet at Loretto. Then on August 5th, which is next Wednesday and I didn't write the time down, Jim Glom was telling me, sent me an email telling me that there's going to be a special bell ringing for Hiroshima. And then there's going to be another special bell ringing on the 8th for Nagasaki. So if you hear bells ringing on Wednesday afternoon, I think it's at 5:15, it's going to be in remembrance of the 75th anniversary of Hiroshima. August 12th, we have, right immediately following this meeting, we will have Michael Cook will be leading an International Services Committee meeting. So anybody interested in our international projects and what we may have coming up, please plan to stay and attend. And then, of course, next month, the SCARC meeting, Sonoma County Association of Rotary Clubs, will be led by Healdsburg. And unless anybody has anything else, that's it that I know of. It's pretty quiet. But then again,
Mike McLaughlin online. Mike?
Yeah. The Community Services Committee will meet next Monday, the 3rd at 5:30, and I'll get the Zoom link out today.
Okay. And under discussion is the district grant?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Grant, as well as an opportunity for us to work with the food bank and do a little volunteer work.
Perfect. So I just found, I kind of like to get at least one slide that's something from Rotary. There's lots of stuff coming out from the zone and from Rural RI. And I just thought this one was appropriate. Rotary holds that the interests of society demand that there be a place where people of diverse races, faiths, and political parties can meet in happy fellowship. And we're happy, right? We're all happy?
Yeah.
We're all happy?
Have to be.
And proposes to provide that place. We're as happy as we can be. We can review. David.
Hey, yeah. That's my niece. She lives in New York City. She is a professional photographer, but that's a tough business to break into. That article, her photo, was selected by New York Magazine, which is a national magazine. So she got her first national opportunity to do something good. How cool is that?
Cool. Wonderful.
Wow.
So how many nieces and nephews do you have, David?
Not that many. Not as many as fingers and toes. Let me think about that. Let me kind of run it out on both sides of the family and say 12.
Is this going to take a long time, David?
No, I counted on 12. Is it going to take a long time to get new ones? No, but one of the nephews had a new baby day before yesterday. That was pretty cool.
So you're a granduncle.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah. They're making more people. Fortunately, nobody's related to me by blood. I have no direct descendants myself. I thought I would do that as a kindness to the entire world.
Thank you.
A benefactor.
What's that one? Marty?
Well, that was at the 2019 World Scout Jamboree in Bechtel, West Virginia. And I was running a base camp, which had 4 camps. We had 2,000 in each of the camps. So we had 8,000 kids in the camp that I was running. And it turned out very well.
So are all of the things there on your pocket, are those for battles?
No, well, those are various things from the Eagle Scout Award. Adults don't wear what the kids wear, like the Eagle badge. We have these square knots, and they include the Eagle Scout Award, the Silver Beaver for distinguished service to youth on the local level, and the Silver Antelope for distinguished service at the regional level, which are high-level awards. But yes, and you're supposed to wear only 3 rows. You will see at these events that there's some guys that have them all the way up their shoulder, all the way up, that they want you to know they have everything there is. But anyway. And if I can just have a minute to let people know about Karen Dutton.
Yes, I was going to get to that. Marty,
Okay, well, call on me because I did talk to George.
Okay, yeah,
Right.
when we get to announcements.
Okay.
And here's another big thing that happened this week is we can use our reusable bags again.
Not at Furcrest.
Not at Furcrest?
No, they won't allow them in.
They won't allow them. That's fine.
Furcrest is good because they actually have paper bags, thank
Absolutely.
God.
I refuse to get those plastic bags. I get enough of them just from all the takeout.
No,
But
I
yeah,
like
you have to bag your own.
recyclable.
Yeah, you have to bag your own, but you can take, in some places, you can take your reusable bags in. And Andy's, of course, is the one that had this picture. So when you shop at Andy's. So now we have the announcements. So Marty, unmute. Now you can talk.
Thank you. Yesterday about 9 a.m. I received a call from George Dutton's daughter, who I have met before and at Humane Society events at George's table and so forth. And she said, My dad wanted me to call you, and he said he will call you this afternoon, but Karen passed away. This has been going on about a year. Those of us who know George very well, where Karen had esophageal cancer. She was treated. It was in full remission. And then she got a sore throat again and had it back again. And the latest, about 2 weeks ago, she had a seizure at home. But you know that means that it's spread to the brain. And she passed away yesterday. And when I talked to George in the afternoon yesterday, he said Karen really insisted on not having anything, but he is thinking about something. He said to me, it may be next year. I don't know, but I'm going to have something. I'm still thinking through this, but all our thoughts are with George and his family. This has been very hard on him. And so he needs our prayers.
Marty?
Yeah.
Marty, do you have an address for George?
I just have his email, but I do have it.
And street address.
I may have it in my database. His insurance is with us.
Okay, I was going to say he might be in if he's still in Healdsburg Sunrise, he'd be in
Yes.
DACB.
Oh, I can send it to the office. Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, are there any other announcements? Anybody have anything else they want to announce that's going on that we need to pay attention to? I know Darlene.
Yes.
You have Humane Society has a fundraiser coming up.
Yeah, actually, it's next Friday. It's our first. Well, actually, I think some of the auction stuff is going to happen on Wednesday night and Thursday night. And John Boletto has offered a dinner for 12, so that's really nice of him. And actually, if you pre-order champagne from him, you can pick it up. And there's some other restaurants that are donating part of their proceeds. Well, so it's turning out to be, it's going to be an interesting event. The whole thing's going to be online. Mike McGuire is going to come from Sacramento, and the rest of the folks, there's going to be 3 people together and socially distanced in at Kendall Jackson, who normally we would have the live event at. But some really great auction items. It should be interesting. If you haven't registered, register. I'll send you an email.
Thank you. The Michael Cook's Global Telemedicine Project, Global Offsite Care, had their fundraiser last weekend that was an online event. And now with the Humane Society, and hopefully we are really hoping that we can learn from that and do something and raise funds for our community foundation, because right now, we have diddly,
and actually, Barbara, the one nice thing that came out of this is our sponsorships actually went up. So I think because it is an online event, people still wanted to give, sponsorships went up compared to what we had budgeted originally. So it's people still want to give and want to participate. It's just finding hopefully it works out well. So if anything, check it out just to see how it works out.
Right.
And I can give you guys an update on.
We in Rotary, we beg, borrow, steal, copy, plagiarize, and cooperate. So hopefully we're going to be learning from your 2 online events so that we can put together an online event for our foundation. Because we do have a whole lot of silent auction items and live auction items that we weren't able to use at Parisienne. So, yay. Thank you.
Barbara, it's Marty. Just to mention that back to the Humane Society thing, one of the best things I have from that Humane Society that I will cherish, particularly now that Wyatt is sick, is that I won a watercolor of my dog. Charlie took a picture of Wyatt and sent it in, and I have a wonderful watercolor, handmade and so forth of Wyatt that is in the front room, and I'll cherish that when he is gone.
Yeah.
But they have some great items.
Best thing I have from the Humane Society is my cat, Petey. Foundation moment. Diana and Bill Sauber. You're up.
Yeah, is Bill there?
Yep.
Oh, okay, I don't see you. You're just there in voice. Okay. Can everybody see this? I can't tell if you can see or not.
No.
No?
I can. Woohoo! Yes.
Yeah.
Where are we?
Here's pin +1.
Yes,
Hey,
this is the major donor pin that we're presenting to Bill
Oh.
Sauber. He made a wonderful donation. That means he's been doing this for 10 times to become a Paul Harris Fellow, so he's now a major donor. That's just wonderful. He is doing this for his son Peter and his son Glenn. For Peter, he donated to an additional $500 to the annual fund, and for Glenn, an additional $500 to prevent polio. And now, Bill, I would like you to say something about your giving this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
I'm very happy and proud to have been able to contribute to an organization and know that my contributions are going directly to help people and organizations and projects around the world rather than paying overhead to a bunch of folks that are taking care of stuff. The Rotary Foundation is so efficient in delivering because they're just so low on the overhead, and we're the ones who get to select many of the projects, particularly for the annual fund, because it's our contributions locally that come back to us. And when we talk about having a project and having our funds double, well, that's because we gave 3 years ago. So it's great to know that that money is coming back to our community as well as to other places around the world. And I'm just so proud of both of my sons, Pete, who walked the 2,200 mile Appalachian Trail with me, and Glenn, who is suffering from this debilitating condition that we struggled so long just to find out what it was, but like polio, put him pretty much in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. So I'm just happy to be able to do it.
I just want to say thank you again. We appreciate it immensely. You're a great Rotarian. Thank you.
Thank you. And past president, Linton.
Well, Bill, thank you. You've reminded me, I just have to say this. My wife and I made the biggest donations we've ever made at the, Global Offsite Care event. It just happened that they had 2 trips that we've been considering for at least a year, 2 or 3, one of them. And I'm just so happy to be able to give to Michael's work. And thank you, Michael.
Welcome.
So here's a little update on where we are on polio. There have only been 85 cases of the wild polio virus in 2020, and they are both in Afghanistan and Pakistan. And I was reading a few days ago that they are back doing immunizations, but I can't remember if it's Afghanistan or Pakistan. They kind of had to put them on hold because of COVID. Now they are able to go back in, and they're starting to do immunizations because we can't let up. We can't stop. So, Michael Cook.
Howdy.
Hi there. Quickie.
So, a little thing about Zoom you may not have realized. When you're in this view in the upper left corner of your Zoom screen, there's a couple little bitty icons. You might see it's notifying you that this meeting is recorded. And to the left of that, there's two icons. If you click on one, it shows you the name of the meeting, but it also has the link in there. So if you're in a meeting and someone says, oh no, what's the link? You can copy it out of that area and text or send it via email. So it's just one way to find out what is the meeting ID and what link can I send. It's just a handy area for them. And next to that's a little green icon with a checkbox. And if you're curious about, if the quality of your connection isn't that great, you can see some statistics in here if you care to look at, what's the rate at which you're connected to the internet from Zoom's point of view. It's a point of interest.
Like, what box are you looking at? Exactly.
Oh, in the Zoom window, can you see it says Zoom Quickie Tutorial? You're seeing that screen?
No, I'm not. I don't know if I have something wrong here.
Yeah, it's going to be different on different devices, Michael. But
yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm talking about if you're on a computer, then or laptop or desktop, then you can see what I'm talking about. It's a little different for iPhones or tablets like Samsung.
Right.
I'll get into that the next Zoom Quickie tutorial.
Yeah,
Hey, Marty.
Little quickie tutorials.
Marty, do you see the button at the top left where it's set in red where it says recording?
Yes.
That's where he's talking about. Put your icon there and you'll see the 3 different icons.
Okay, I see it.
You got it? Okay.
You are using an enhanced operation. Encryption is one, and then meeting information. That's what he was. There we go.
Yeah,
I found it. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
there's your quickie for the day.
And I even know my host is Barbara Barney.
Whoa.
Sebastopol Sunrise. Woohoo! So does anybody have any happy bucks? We aren't really doing recognition this year.
I've got some future ones.
So
got
Michael, can you share a screen using this if you're not the host?
Yes, if I unshare, if I stop share and then you can share. I really don't want to.
Well, no, that's fine. I just was asking.
Okay.
I have some happy bucks.
Okay.
Linda here. I'm happy that tomorrow morning my mom is having back surgery and it's going to relieve her pain. And I would really appreciate it if you would all keep her in your thoughts and prayers for a successful event and a speedy recovery. And I will donate to our foundation on the website using that handy link.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I have some happy bucks because our peach tree is in full mode and we are happily harvesting peaches every day and enjoying them immensely. So does anybody else have any happy bucks? Who?
David does.
David does. Woo!
Yep. As I had made reference earlier, there's a new family member to the Mark side of our family. He was born in San Francisco, looks fabulous, has a full head of hair already, and his name is Khalil, which is apparently from Hebrew, though there's no Hebrews in the family. It means something about flame or fire or something like that. So I'm definitely going to make a donation to our club foundation for that. But I will double it if the following happens. So Barbara, did our club members get the flyer for the Thursday evening
for the SCARC
meeting?
I don't remember. I can have Michael Fell send it out.
Well, here's the incentive. There are 4 of us that I know are on the meeting because you, I, Mike, and Joe all have activities that we're going to do. But if we get 25% of our members at that meeting, so if an additional 7 people join, I will donate I will double that contribution that I'm going to send into the club foundation. I'll be counting and I'll be looking for all of you. The SCARF meeting is kind of cool because people are going to be talking about what their clubs are doing during this COVID time, you know, kind of how they're working. And clubs are going to be talking about how they're doing their fundraisers during this time. So I think it would be great for all of us to show. Besides, we're the hosts, right? All of us.
Yep. Anybody else? Happy? Linton.
I'm another happy bucks. My son has a new kitten, and he has a girlfriend that he got involved with just around the time that the COVID shutdown happened, and they've been really happy with each other and kind to each other, and now they're acting like little parents with this little cute tabby cat, and it's fun to see. They're going camping.
Aww.
Yeah.
My daughter showed pictures of a hike that she took one day with a friend, and her friend took her cat who walks on a harness and a leash in the woods. It was really, the pictures were a hoot. Okay, then Charlie is our speaker. Oh my goodness, what a cutie. Charlie, is our speaker with us yet this morning?
Yeah, I think Gloria is already here. This is Joyce.
Yes.
Oh, hi,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yeah.
Joyce is going to
Can
be.
you introduce our speaker?
Yes, I'm going to be introducing her.
Okay.
And she is here. Okay, so Dr. Gloria Willingham Toure, and I call her Dr. Gloria. That's how we friends call her, Dr. Gloria. She is described as a master networker who connects social entrepreneurs locally, nationally, and internationally. And I'm having 3 pages of her information, which I will not read because she is very well accomplished. So I'll give a very short summary. So Gloria was born and raised in Little Rock, Arkansas, at the end of the Jim Crow era and the beginning of the civil rights era. Dr. G attended the then newly desegregated Little Rock Central High School. She was a member of the first group of colored students to stay at Little Rock for 3 consecutive years of 1960 to 1963 until graduation. So she knows what it is like to be the diversity in an otherwise white environment. She also knows of the history of institutionalized racism that has targeted Blacks and now targets people of color and other groups deemed to be imperfect. Dr. G has received countless awards for her success in connecting people within and beyond their current circumstances and exposing them to stories of persons with different life experiences. And that is how I met with Dr. G when she was the vice president and provost of Fielding Graduate University in Santa Barbara. She has traveled abroad, studying diverse communities in South Africa, Guinea, Ghana, Jordan, Egypt, South Korea, Thailand, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, and China. I've left out some because it is a long list. Dr. G currently serves as a member of the board in many, many institutions, like the California State University of Long Beach, where she lives. She has a master's degree in nursing science and a doctorate of philosophy. Dr. G is a retired lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army Reserves. I have a whole page of awards, honors, and special recognitions, which I will not read, one of them being Claremont Graduate University and Claremont Graduate Alumni Hall of Fame. So without much ado, I will let Dr. G come. And Dr. G, thank you so much for coming to talk to us today about what is the matter with Black lives.
So Michael Cook, can you spotlight Dr. Gloria, please?
Well, let's mute all and then unmute her as well.
There we are. Perfect. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, I'm really happy to be here this morning. I'm grateful for the invitation. I arrived just a little bit early, so I feel as if I at least know you now by your faces anyway. I sort of know who I'm speaking to, and I think that's really important for me as we talk this morning. I was trying to decide how I wanted to talk to you this morning, what it was that I wanted to say. And the one thing I decided was that I think I would like to bring you into my world. I want you to sort of experience my world as I'm experiencing it right now. One of the things that I have to say related to any discussion that I have when I talk about the matter of Black lives is that I can assure you that I probably know more about the life of particularly the white world, I call it. I know more about the white world than the white world knows about me. And somebody would ask me, well, why do you say that, Gloria? How can that be true? Because for me, it has been a matter of survival. I have no choice. I have no choice except to learn that world and to know how to maneuver my way through that world. And so to have an opportunity, I think, to begin to bring increasing numbers of people into my world, because I live a very bicultural existence, and I have a feeling that most Black people would tend to say the same thing, although we are indeed very different in who we are. We are a very diverse population. So when we use the term Black, it covers a wide variety of people. The thing that binding us being the fact that we all claim some African ancestry, some of us a traceable ancestry, and some of us, we don't really know exactly where that ancestry started. But what we do know, those of us who are here in the United States, and I'm only talking now about the United States, those of us who are here in the United States do know that we have a history that was really created for us over 400 years ago in this country. And I'm going to sort of walk you sort of through what that means for me. So I've been asked many questions quite often when I've been talking to various groups or just in general conversations. And some of the questions that I'm asked, and I want to just throw those out here for just a minute. I was asked by one group, and they asked me, they said, so Gloria, I don't understand why this whole issue of the murder of George Floyd was such a trigger point. So what if George Floyd was killed? I've actually been asked that. And so what? So what? He's not the only person who's been killed by police brutality. That's been happening before. We know some people, we know where that's happening. And then I've had people say to me, you get everything free right now. What else do you want? Well, what do you mean Black Lives Matter? And then I've had people ask me, they say, well, what about us? What about us? Don't our lives matter too? All lives matter should be the slogan now, not just Black Lives Matter. And so I listened to all of that rhetoric because I think it's important to listen, very important to listen. But then something happened that I never expected to experience. Something happened that led me to know what I had known and I had felt in this country was no real surprise to many people, even the people who were asking me these questions. When we really talked, they weren't really that surprised why this whole issue of the matter of Black lives seems to be rising to the surface now. I started to hold a number of listening sessions, and I wanted to just sort of listen and to hear what was really being said about this on all sides. I really wanted to know that. Now, let me tell you about the listening sessions and what led to that. I am a virtual expert in listening. I really am. And I need to give you some background on that expertise that I have granted, because I'm sure I'm probably not the only person who has gained some expertise in that arena. I didn't gain it from anything that I studied in a book. I didn't gain it from anybody's research, and I didn't even gain it from my own research, to be perfectly honest about it. Joyce mentioned that I was a student at Little Rock Central High School during the Civil Rights era, and she's absolutely right about that. That has become a point of historical significance right now, well documented. Many of you are aware of the Little Rock Nine and the whole issue of desegregation in Little Rock and all the things that led to that. However, usually what you see is that you see what we call this snapshot in time. And the snapshot is usually, you'll see Elizabeth Eckford, who is walking to school on her very first day, and everybody, these white people are jeering at her. That's an image that seems to be just stuck in everybody's mind as if that's it. But that wasn't the whole picture at all. That was just that was just a photo that went worldwide, and it went viral and became the trigger point for people understanding what was really going on at the time and the seriousness of this. What people didn't understand, though, was that we were children. That's what they didn't understand. I didn't even understand that until years later when I had children who were the same age as I was when I entered Little Rock Central High School. It was then that I understood how young 14 years old really was. I had no idea at the time. I really didn't. But one of the things that happened to me when I was at Little Rock Central High School was that, number one, I had to learn to listen, and I had to learn how to listen with the depths of my heart and my soul, because my very safety depended on how well I was able to listen, how well I was able to pick up cues, how well I was able to just maneuver my way through that environment alone. As a Black student at Little Rock Central High School, I think I had only one class in all the years that I had been there where there was another Black student in the class with me. There were very few of us there anyway at that time, but there was a conscious effort to keep us all separated. So we were never really with each other. You know, the news makes it sound like we were just a cohesive group. We were not really with each other at school, didn't see each other at school. I can remember hearing the bell ring and listening for the school bell to ring, and knowing that when that bell rang, I had to get up and run out of that class as fast as I could run out of that class and find the safest route that I could to get to the next class so that I could get somebody tripping me or spitting on me, pushing me, or saying things to me that nobody ever should need to hear. I knew that when I got to my classrooms that my teachers were not going to say anything to me. I had been granted by law the right to be there, but the law did not say that anybody had to say anything to me. And so my teachers never talked to me in class, never. So I had to listen twice as hard to learn, because basically that's where I learned to be an independent learner. And I would listen and I would take as many notes as I could, and I would learn everything that I could so that I would be able to learn without being consciously taught. So with that comes a level of skill that has carried me through all of my life. And so now I find myself pulling that skill of listening to the forefront of who I am. And so I started a series of listening sessions. And I started those almost immediately after the murder of George Floyd. I tend to think of that as an assassination of my people, Black people, because there could be no denial that this murder actually occurred. There could be no denying that it was a horrific killing, that it was a slow and intentional and heartless killing of a human being, an unmistakably Black male human being, this time in front of witnesses. But even the presence of witnesses did not deter or stop this act. And even the presence of other police did not deter this act. I remember watching the video and feeling as if the spirits of all my generations here, I was feeling them. I felt as if they were crying out to me. You see, I knew that no matter how horrific this merciless act of killing this Black man was, it was not new. It had happened before. In fact, it had been happening for over 400 years. It had occurred and had been legally sanctioned for many, many, many years, for generations. I recall the stories that had been passed down to me by my father and my grandfather about the merciless beating and lynching of my cousin, my own cousin, Clinton Briggs. Back in the 1920s, this happened to him. And in all those years, we are now in the year 2020, there'd never been an arrest for this horrific lynching. And I'm not going to talk about that a lot. You can Google it. One thing I like about my family history is that it is all well documented. And the story of Clinton Briggs is very well documented. You can Google Clinton Briggs and you can read the whole story. It's now considered a part of Arkansas history. So you can read that and you can see what happened. He was one of many Black men who were returning from the military on the assumption that they had more rights than they actually did, and what happened to them as a result of that. And so to this date, there have been no arrests in that situation. All of this came to my mind. All of a sudden in my mind, I was thinking as I was watching this George Floyd, I thought to myself, surely there were witnesses, there were people who knew what had happened. We were talking about a small town. What happened with that? What happened with that? I couldn't get that out. I couldn't get it out of my mind. And I remember feeling so all alone as I was thinking about this, wondering to myself, am I feeling something that I shouldn't be feeling? Is anybody else feeling this? Does anybody else care? Is anybody else aware of this? Is this all just part of the folklore, as they call it, of being a Black person in this country? Or have we really, really indeed been subjected to a different life than what we should have been? Have we been treated less? Have we been thought of less? I just couldn't get that out of my mind. I just couldn't get it out of my mind. I kept thinking of stories from my grandparents who used to tell me all the time when I'd be visiting them in rural Arkansas that I could never walk down the side of the street, of the road. It wasn't the street, the side of the road after dark, because they told me that if I did, I might be grabbed, is what they told me, by the Klan or by highwaymen. Highwaymen were what we would consider the police today. And I used to wonder, why are they telling me this? What is the significance of all of this? I don't understand. I don't understand. I didn't understand it, but I knew that it was of such grave importance that I had to learn and I had to heed what they were saying to me. I remember that just sort of brought me into another time when I just, everything was just coming forward to me in a way I just didn't know what to do. And all of this was occurring at the same time that George Floyd had been killed. This was occurring at the same time that I was expected to carry on my daily life as if nothing had changed. This was a time that I found myself struggling to deal with all these feelings that were within me. And it was a time when I knew that because I held what was known as a quote unquote position of privilege and a position of responsibility in certain organizations, that I had no choice except to speak out. I had to respond, I had to say something. I had to be the person to somehow be able to calm everybody else down. I had to do something, I had to say something. And primarily because I was Black, and there was some assumption that because I was Black, that surely I was emotionally able to really talk about what was happening, that I was somehow emotionally able to carry everybody else through. And that I would be able to do that without ever even worrying or being concerned about myself, almost as if I didn't matter. But I did matter. And I knew I mattered. I knew that deep down within myself. But I also knew that to the people around me, I was the position that I held. I was the amount of responsibility that had been thrust upon me. And in many ways, that's all I was. That's all I was. And that bothered me. And I found myself fighting back tears on more than one occasion. I found myself at a point where I just couldn't stop crying sometimes. I would have to dismiss myself and get up and walk out of the room. I just couldn't help myself. I was trying to get myself emotionally ready. I was trying to do this. And this is something I had done this for years as a Black person. There's always this thing of getting yourself emotionally ready for whatever it is that we walk into, whether it's a meeting, whether it's a store, no matter what, getting emotionally ready. But with that murder, it's as if I had been totally drained and I had no more emotional readiness now to pull forward. And so I started the listening sessions. The reason for the listening sessions was so that I could hear, I wanted to hear from my white colleagues, from my white friends, from people that I had known for a long time, people that I had worked with. I wanted to know, what are you feeling? What do you feel? Surely you can't tell me that you're not feeling anything. I find that hard to believe. Surely you can't be satisfied with just listening and hearing my story. What are you feeling? And let me tell you, that was one of the best things I think I ever did for myself, and maybe for the other people that were in that room, because something happened that I didn't expect to happen. And my eyes were open in a way that my eyes needed to be open. What happened? People knew. People knew about situations and things that had happened in which my life didn't matter. They knew. They knew. They told stories about conversations that had gone on within their own families, that they felt they should have said something, but they didn't. Some of them said they were afraid to say anything, and some of them said they just felt uncomfortable. They talked about situations at work that they were well aware of. They talked about conversations that had gone on. They were well aware of that. They talked about privileges that they had. They were well aware that these were things that were existing within their lives that indeed were denied to Black people. And what many of them didn't know, they didn't know a whole lot about the history of Blacks in this country. They didn't realize that Blacks were actually brought to this country as chattel, as animals, as people to be bought and sold, and that every law from the time that we set foot on this land was really designed to keep us subordinate to whites, that it was to actually perpetuate a system of white supremacy, and that those laws have continued throughout generations. And so when I use words like civil rights, I would throw that out. So what does that mean to you? Because civil rights has always been, seems to have meant something that you fight for Black people initially, and then later for other people, as you sort of get, you get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like human rights. It starts out with what they call the bottom of the ladder almost, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that was what had happened with that. And so I learned that people do know. Sometimes you have to dig deep within your memory. Sometimes you have to dig deep within your conversations. Sometimes that has to be fed by things that trigger it, things that you read, learning more about our history, hearing the stories, going back and looking deeper into those laws that you take for granted, going back and looking at what would have happened if the cameras had not been there when this man was murdered. Because the cameras were not always there in other situations. It's the cameras that were there. What would you have done? And what would you have said? And that was how we left those listening sessions. And I'm continuing to do those listening sessions now. And so what I wanted to say is, as an ending to all of this, is that you know more than you think you know. And I was so happy to see that there was an anti-racism task force, I believe, that this group here has implemented. I did look at the website. I did look through all of the reference materials. I applaud you deeply, because quite often the first step is to sort of find yourself within that, to read all of this, to talk to people, to invite people in that you may not have heard before, and to listen to them. And then from that, to begin to see, what do I already know? Because it doesn't matter that you're not around a lot of Black people. It doesn't matter if you don't feel that you're directly impacted by some of the absences of civil rights that are going on right now in this country, and the institutionalized racism that is impacting, and it is privileging one group over another. So all we ask as a part of that is that the matter with Black lives is that we have not yet been realized as mattering. Not really. They're not really there yet. And we're still asking for that. We now have generations of young people who have now joined in this. And let me tell you something, after the murder and after me having the listening sessions, That was when all the protests started after that, not before. And I'm going to tell you that to my heart and my soul was the best thing that could happen to me. Because in my heart and in my mind, I felt sort of the strength. I remember John Lewis, who's one of my contemporaries as well. And I knew exactly what he was talking about when he was reacting to that. That to me meant that somebody out here, not just my people, not just Black people, are saying, listen, it's time, something has to change here now. We matter, we're here. You know, it was people of all cultures and races and ages and across the entire country and across the whole world who were starting to now rise up and admit what we have always known. And that's all we're asking. That's all we're asking. And I would like to say with that, I know we have a timeline here, so I'm gonna end with leaving you with just that thought. And the thought is this matter of Black lives. This matter of Black lives. It is deep, and we're asking that we matter, because until we matter, the rest of the country really will not move forward. It can't move forward. Too many laws have been put into place, too many practices, too many institutions have been put into place deliberately to stop us, and that can no longer be done. And I thank you for letting me sort of bring you into my world, and I'm gonna stop here, and if there are any questions that you have for me on anything, please feel free to do that. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Gloria. It's been a pleasure. And, you know, every meeting, you weren't here in the beginning, but we always recite the Pledge of Allegiance. And the final phrase, liberty and justice for all, is, I think, the phrase that will lead us into the future. It's liberty and justice for all. So thank you.
Thank you.
Original, not real.
So are there any questions for Dr. Gloria? Thank you. Please. And so I'm going to go back to sharing my screen.
I'll say something.
Okay.
I just love the way you speak to everybody.
Thank you.
It's it's wonderful, really wonderful. We get people that just read and, you know, you don't get the real feeling. And I feel so bad what you had to go through as a child. You know, I'm really sorry. You know, I was raised in San Francisco in grammar school, and nobody, I mean, I was the minority, you know what I'm saying? It was like, it was Japanese, Chinese, it was everybody, and we all were friends with everybody. And it's so sad what you had to go through, and it just touches me.
And thank you.
So I have a real quick one. I think it's one of the greatest skills you can have is listening, whether it's professional skills, personal skills, everything. It's fantastic. But big question is, we're kind of a polarized country, as we all know. And to the last comment, the way you speak to people, do you have any suggestions on how to talk to people who don't see it, who don't get it, who maybe even refuse to get it? How do we talk to them?
Well, there's two things I always say about that. Number one, there will always be some people who just won't get it. I mean, there really will be. And I have to accept that. I already know that. My hope and my prayer is that is indeed, and I still don't believe that. It's not the majority of the people that will happen to. My way of doing that is that I just continue to talk no matter what. I really do. And I mentioned my life at Little Rock Central High School. There's a postlude to that you need to know, is that some of the people that I went to Central High School with, who were the most vile people in that day to me, treated me all kinds of ways. Believe it or not, many of those people we've reconnected now, and we talk a lot. We talk a lot, and they've seen, you know, we were children then. That's what people don't understand. We were children, and so just as we were children in age, many people now are children in really understanding the significance of all of this, and deliberately, I think the systems have been set up that way, really, so that they wouldn't understand it. You know, they haven't had to worry about it or think about it. So, yeah.
Dr. Gloria?
Yes.
Last question.
I just want to say just a quick comment on you could be a one-person show on stage helping us to broaden our understanding of where we are now and where we actually need to go. And I see that you're the founder of the Village Projects.
Yes.
How are you doing in these coronavirus times in terms of, do you use Zoom now to do your listening groups? And how does our Rotary join in on this effort to continue to educate ourselves and to see a broader picture and kind of come out of the shadows a bit?
Yes. And you know, one thing that has happened to us that I think has been a blessing in disguise is this whole era that we have to jump into Zoom rooms and similar kinds. I am Zoomed every day, all day almost. Yes, to answer your question. Yes, we do use Zoom. We use Zoom a lot. And a lot of our Zoom webinars, as we call them, are really public webinars, and they're open to anybody and everybody almost. We do send announcements out about that. They're free. And it just gives people a chance to really sort of learn, as you're saying, to sort of learn more, to hear voices that they ordinarily would not hear. They would not hear. And to have their voices heard to people that would not normally hear them as well. So yes, we Zoom all day long every day.
That's terrific. I think our board would be very receptive to joining in on some of these webinars so that we can assist the rest of our members in this effort. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Applause, please.
Yeah.
So, for the wonderful raffle ticket, who is number 25 to join today, Michael Fells?
Well, that lucky person is none other than Al Lustig.
Woohoo! So Al, here's your ticket. I will scrape it off later with my wonderful Rotary coin and let you know. And last week, Rod was the winner and he won $2, which I have to admit, I haven't been into town, so I haven't gone to the 7-Eleven, because what he asked me to do is just go ahead and get a quick pick and just see if we win gazillions of dollars there. Waiting clean joke, real quick, Michael Cook.
Okay. Well, I'll make it quick. So what is the difference between a hippo and a Zippo? Well, one is really heavy and the other's a little lighter.
Oh.
Terrible.
Terrible, but cute. So Joe, happy trails.
Here we go. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, my young man. Happy trails to you till we meet again.
One last thing I forgot. Ibrahim, Jerry Meshlum's friend from Uganda, also is attending our meeting. He's in the Rotary class. Can't even speak anymore.
Yeah, we saw it.
Thank you, Dr. Gloria.
Yeah, so thank you, Ibrahim, for joining us, and thank you very much, Dr. Gloria, for being on our program. And hasta luego, mi amigos.
Wow.
Michael, are we moving wine today? Rod.
Okay. Michael, can you take the spotlight off? Thank you.
Michael Cook.
Yes.
Are we schlepping
Just get
wine?
gallery view in the upper right here.